What's up everyone? Today, I'll be talking about my favorite game of all time, Super Mario Galaxy. I love this game to death because of the brand new mechanics it introduced. With crazy level designs and awesome new power-ups, it's no wonder this game is viewed so highly by fans. But one thing that's always stood out to me was the bosses. They were all really unique and a lot of fun to fight. So that's why today, I'll be ranking the top 10 Super Mario Galaxy bosses. This list is based on how fun the bosses are, how creative the fight is, and anything else that helps them to stand out. And before I get started, make sure to subscribe so that you can watch more epic videos like this one. Now, let's get to the countdown. Number 10. Fiery Dino Piranha. One of the first bosses you'll encounter in this game is Dino Piranha. He's a pretty easy foe, and won't take much time to defeat. But Fiery Dino Piranha is a much harder version of that. He'll go around spin attacking his tail while he chases you, but for most of the fight, his tail is on fire, so you'll have to wait until it goes out in order to attack him. The time you're given to smack his tail is quite small, but the added difficulty makes this boss fight stand out. It feels immensely satisfying launching his tail high in the air only for it to come crashing down on him. I do feel kinda bad for him though. I mean, this guy's just a baby who just hatched from an egg, and Mario keeps going around and attacking him. That's seriously messed up, dude. Even if it is cruel, it's still a really fun take on a previous boss fight. Number 9. Bugaboom. This boss fight makes great use of the new B Mario power-up. You'll use it to fly on top of Bugaboom and ground pound his back, but that's easier said than done. Bugaboom flies really fast around the planet, and sometimes he'll even switch directions. He can even turn to the side so that you can't ground pound him. How's that fair? Luckily, this bug is no match for Mario. As long as you pay attention to where Bugaboom's flying, then this fight isn't too difficult. The only thing you have to worry about is the water that can make you lose your power-up, but the game always offers you another one, so it isn't that big a deal. Unlike Fiery Dino Piranha, this fight is incredibly easy, but I prefer this one because of the unique way it uses B Mario. Number 8. King Kaliente. Aside from looking like an Octorok from The Legend of Zelda, this king puts up a really good fight. He'll shoot lava bubbles at you, along with the occasional coconut. He'll spin attack the coconuts to launch them back at him. As the fight progresses, he'll shoot out several coconuts at once, and you have to hit them in succession in order to deal damage. There's this really satisfying pow when you hit multiple coconuts, and it feels so gratifying to pull off. Occasionally, fire rocks will rain down on you, but you don't have to worry about them too much. What I really like about this boss fight is that it works really well with Mario's moveset. This kind of boss battle wouldn't work very well in other Mario games, which is why this one is special. There's even a second version of this fight where the ground beneath you sinks. This makes it so that you're constantly moving, and it's a blast. This may not be the toughest boss fight in the world, but for what it is, it's certainly worth your time. Number 7. Major Burrows. Ah! It's a blue shell! Get it away! Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was just a hat. Those things have scarred me. Anyways, Major Burrows is a pretty fun boss fight to take down. He'll chase you around a circular planet and occasionally stick his head out of the ground. When he does, you'll have to ground pound and then spin attack his hiney for major damage. The last tick can be kind of tricky since you have to ground pound twice, but it isn't too bad. He can move pretty fast, so he'll always be on your toes, especially when you can't see him. And I really like his design too. A lot of this game's bosses look really cool, but this one might be my favorite design-wise. Unfortunately, there isn't much of a challenge here, but it's still a pretty decent fight. Number 6. Tarantox. Besides being located in one of the game's best levels, Space Junk Galaxy, this boss has a lot of really cool things going for it. For one, this boss makes great use of the sling pots found throughout the level. Jumping into them will allow you to fling Mario in the opposite direction of your cursor, and they're a ton of fun to use. You'll use them to pop Tarantox's pimples and spray puss all over the place. Is it puss? I don't know. Sure looks like it. The boss can occasionally spray this stuff at you, so you'll have to keep moving around. Unlike some of the fights mentioned before, this one can actually get quite challenging since he can spray in multiple directions really fast, and aiming with the Wii remote isn't always the easiest. But with a cool idea and a banging song, this boss manages to stick out above the rest. Number 5. Bowser Jr. For the first time ever, we get to fight Bowser Jr., and he makes for a really great boss. He flies around in his airship, so you'll have to throw Koopa shells at him. In the first phase, Bowser Jr. will occasionally move left and right while shooting bullet bills at you, and it isn't too bad. But the second phase is where it gets really good. The airship turns so that it's facing you, making it so that it has a smaller hitbox. Magic Koopas will occasionally swoop in to shoot magic at you, cannons are being launched at you, bullet bills are everywhere, all while trying to correctly line up your shots so that you can defeat that little bastard. This boss fight is pure chaos and I love it. There's just so much going on that you have to watch out for. It's just so fun to complete. You have to stay diligent the whole time or else you're done for. It's this kind of idea that I love to see in boss fights, and this one surely doesn't disappoint. Number 4. Bouldergeist. Here we have one of the more intricate boss fights in this game. Bouldergeist will attack you with his giant hands, so it's up to you to avoid them. He'll occasionally throw rocks at you, along with a couple of boos. He'll swing the boos around to damage his rocky exterior. After enough hits, his core will be exposed and you can do some real damage. Upon damaging his insides, the second phase will start, and it isn't too different. Occasionally, Bouldergeist will create large rock towers out of the ground, and they can be quite tricky to avoid, but with enough patience, this boss really isn't too bad. And if you're one of those wimps that's always complaining that this boss fight is too hard, then man up I say! This boss fight is so easy my grandma could do it blindfolded! Actually, that would be really cool, I'm not gonna lie. Number 3. Kingfin. This boss sure does contrast the colorful cutesy bosses we're used to seeing in Mario games. This fight takes place entirely underwater, which makes it kind of hard to navigate, especially when Kingfin can move all around really quickly. You have to throw Koopa shells at him while dodging the little kingfish that go after you. If it weren't for the red shells, this boss might be way too hard, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, this boss takes 5 hits to kill instead of 3. Wow! Nintendo actually did it! They actually made a boss fight hard! They should give Kingfin an award for being the first boss in this game to be a pain in the ass! I'm just kidding, of course. This boss might be harder than most of the other ones in this game, but I always found this one to be more fun overall due to its challenge and creativity. Number 2. Bowser. I'm mushing all of the Bowser fights into one spot because they're all so similar to each other. Out of all the times we've fought Bowser over the years, this one is my favorite fight by far. Bowser has several attacks like breathing fire, creating shockwaves, and turning into a boulder and rolling around. Depending on which Bowser fight you're on, there will be multiple phases, each requiring you to take out Bowser in a slightly different way. Eventually, you'll lure Bowser into this lava, which will cause him to run around in pain. Then it's your time to spin attack him to the moon. Or whatever it is we're on. Everything about this fight is what a final boss should feel like. The boss is intimidating, the attacks are dangerous, the music is intense. Everything about this fight is awesome. It is one you'll remember for a long time. But who could be better than Bowser? Well, I think you already know. Number 1. Megaleg. Now you might not count this as a boss fight, but Wikipedia said it is, so what are you gonna do? To this day, I've never encountered a fight quite like this one, and that's because there isn't really a fight. Megaleg is more of a level than an enemy, and no, I'm not lying. You literally climb up his legs to his head. Along the way, he'll try to stomp you, and bullet bills will chase after you. There's also some light platforming along the way, but nothing too crazy. At the top, you'll have to lure bullet bills to run into some barriers so that you can grab the Grand Star, and yes, this is all real. Now you don't necessarily give this guy damage, and he doesn't really try to attack you or anything, but the sheer creativity gives this boss the edge. I mean, come on, name one game that has something quite like this. Actually, I can name a few. Either way, this boss fight might not seem like a boss fight, but I guarantee you that you'll have the most fun with this one. A lot of the boss fights in this game are some of the best in the entire Mario series, including the ones I didn't even mention. So let me know down below what your favorite Mario Galaxy bosses are, and be sure to like and subscribe for more epic videos like this one. See you all next time. Goodbye.